Free Palestine. You see it on signs and hashtags and protests, but what exactly does it mean? And why do people across the world from all walks of life chant it with such conviction? To understand the phrase, we have to go back over a century. After World War I, the Ottoman Empire, which had ruled Palestine for centuries, collapsed. The League of Nations, a precursor to the United Nations, gave Britain administrative control over the territory. This was called the British Mandate for Palestine. Britain's job under the mandate was to govern the region and prepare it for self-rule. But the mandate also came with a contradiction. In 1917, during the war, Britain issued the Balfour Declaration, which expressed support for the establishment of a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine, without prejudicing the rights of the non-Jewish communities already living there. At the time, the vast majority of people living in Palestine were Arab, Muslims, and Christians. Jewish immigration increased under British rule, leading to growing tensions between Jewish and Arab communities. Arab Palestinians opposed both British control and the growing Zionist movement, which sought to establish a Jewish state. By the 1930s and 40s, violence and unrest were common. Both Arabs and Jews rebelled against British authority for different reasons, each group pursuing its own national aspirations. Eventually, Britain, exhausted by the conflict and recovering from World War II, handed the issue over to the newly formed United Nations, leading to the 1947 UN Partition Plan. The UN proposed to divide the land into two states, one Jewish, one Arab. Jewish leaders accepted the plan. Arab leaders, including Palestinians and neighboring Arab states, rejected it. They argued it gave most of the land to a Jewish minority and violated the rights of the Arab majority. In 1948, Israel declared independence. Neighboring Arab countries invaded. In the war that followed, Israel survived and expanded beyond the UN's proposed borders. Over 700,000 Palestinians were displaced, their homes and villages lost. This is known as the Nakba, the catastrophe. For Jews, it was the birth of a long-awaited homeland. For Palestinians, it was a defining trauma. Israel became a state, recognized internationally, with defined institutions, a military, and a seat at the United Nations. Palestine did not. The envisioned Arab state was never established. The West Bank came under Jordanian control. Gaza was administered by Egypt. There was no sovereign Palestinian government, no borders, no control, no international recognition. In 1967, Israel occupied both the West Bank and Gaza in the Six-Day War. Since then, Palestinians have lived under a mix of military rule, limited autonomy, and displacement. So when people say free Palestine, they may be calling for an end to occupation, for the creation of a state, for the right of return, for basic freedom and dignity. But the phrase means different things to different people. Some advocate for two states, Israel and Palestine side by side. Others call for one democratic state with equal rights for all. And some reject Israel's legitimacy entirely, though that's not true for everyone who uses the phrase. The phrase has also traveled, and it's taken on new meanings in the United States and beyond. In the 1960s, civil rights leaders like Malcolm X spoke of the Palestinian cause as part of a global fight against racism and imperialism. The Black Panther Party stood in solidarity with Palestinian liberation, recognizing parallels with their own struggle against systemic oppression. Today, many Black Americans still connect with Free Palestine through that lens. It reflects a shared history of surveillance, resistance, and being cast as a threat in your own land. Latin and Hispanic communities often hear echoes too. From Puerto Rico to Central America, many carry histories shaped by colonization, forced migration, and cultural erasure. Palestinians too live with the legacy of decisions made by powers far away. For white Americans, the reaction varies. Some see Free Palestine as a human rights cause. Others view it through religious, historical, or political frameworks. And many feel uncertain because it raises a conflict they don't fully understand. So let's pause and clarify. What is the conflict? Palestinians live in territories with limited sovereignty. In the West Bank, movement is restricted by military checkpoints, roadblocks, and a separation barrier. Israeli settlements, civilian communities built on occupied land, continue to grow. In Gaza, over 2 million people live under blockade, facing economic collapse and periodic military conflict. There is no fully recognized Palestinian state. There are two main Palestinian factions, Fatah in the West Bank, Hamas in Gaza with competing ideologies and goals. International peace efforts, including the Oslo Accords, have stalled or collapsed. Israel, meanwhile, is a state with democratic institutions and legitimate security concerns, from rocket fire, regional hostility, and political instability. Many Israelis see Palestinian resistance as terrorism. Many Palestinians see Israeli policy as occupation. Both narratives are real. Both are painful. Both are part of the story. So what does Free Palestine mean? It means that someone is not free. It is a cry for justice, a demand for recognition, a call to imagine a future different from the past. It doesn't mean the same thing to everyone, but it always means that something for someone is deeply unresolved. It's not about picking sides. It's about choosing to listen, to care, to seek understanding in a world that often demands certainty. Because in that understanding, we might finally begin to move closer, not to slogans, but to solutions.